Family, the year is 1986, and there I am, in the womb of my mother, preparing to be born that September. Heavy metal is becoming enormous, but enormous things tend to become, safe enough to sell. MTV is full of beautiful people, and hair is getting bigger, production is getting shinier, and metal is discovering that rebellion itself can become a product. And then, simultaneously, America is terrified that something genuinely sinister is happening underneath its culture. Metal was weird, right? The satanic panic is underway. You guys heard of this? Guys, parents during this time are worried about occultic symbols, backward messages, Dungeons and Dragons and heavy metal records, are corrupting their children. And musicians are being accused of hiding satanic messaging inside the albums. As we should do an entire thing on the satanic panic phenomena. So there's this fascinating contradiction. America is selling rebellion to teenagers while simultaneously being terrified of what happens if they actually become rebellious. Then Slayer arrives, not with a wink, not with a power ballad or even, the murky production that usually allowed extreme metal to remain safely underground. Rick Rubin strips the reverb away. Suddenly you can hear everything, the speed of it, the precision, the violence of the drums. And then, the track begins, rain, thunder, and one of the most recognizable riffs heavy metal ever produced. The song's actual fantasy is apocalyptic. A banished soul in purgatory gathering strength for vengeance against heaven. You guys are about to watch my first reaction to that. But culturally, something bigger is happening. Slayer has discovered that there's an audience who doesn't want darkness explained away. They want to enter it artistically. The world ego said that darkness has to either be hidden or defeated. And Slayer offered a disturbing third possibility. What if we looked at it directly? So those sounds are crazy menacing right now. It's almost like the mixture of a siren and a dying cat and tires squealing. I don't know. Definitely meant to be unsettling. We have devolved into total and complete chaos. So from that beginning, right? And you can imagine it. Imagine walking in a dark place. I always say the parking garage scene where you're the only one in the parking garage and it's late at night and the lights are flickering type of thing. The first 30 seconds of this gave me that vibe. You just don't know what's happening. You just get this weird suspicion you're in danger, right? And then when the drums kick in, it was that's when you're actually squabbling with whatever nightmare you're confronted with. That's when the monsters actually popped out, right? So they're telling a complete story just in the music. So, I mean, listen, the lyrics are now just inviting us to truly embrace the horror of it all, right? I'm hearing a lot of dystopian, phrases in here. Bro, the drummer is losing his mind. I'm going to go back and go. I want to hear him come in. Oh, stay there. Stay in that pocket right there. Oh, that's sick.
Raining blood from a lacerated sky, bleeding it.
Raining blood from a lacerated sky. Guys, that is some real serious poetic imagery. What does it mean to lacerate the sky? The sky is what we look up to. The sky represents all of our hopes and dreams, right? It represents the higher power that we all believe in. When the sky is lacerated, right, it means that the dreams that we once had, right, are shown to be the dreams that we once had are shown to be foolish, are shown to be unattainable, right? The lacerated sky is a powerful idea.
Creating my structure, now I shall rain in blood.
Bro, somebody needs to tell me who this drummer is. Is there 4 drummers at once, or is this one insane person with spider arms? This is really, really insane. And the chaos is, you're just met with the force. Family, I was arguing with Dr. Blitz, and, I gave him a definition. He asked me to tell him what I meant by entropy. And I said, entropy is that which we don't know about a system. A lot of times it's synonymous with, like, chaos. That was a very chaotic, crescendo that we just heard there. The climax of that song was very, very chaotic. And, it's inviting us to really feel what it feels like in the moments in life where we've lost control, that cognitively limited state, right? You live through that in the climax. That's on. And then it just leaves us out with the sounds of the rain raining blood from the lacerated sky. Insanity. Family, I think the world used Slayer for something that human beings have always needed, which is like, a pressure relief valve, You ritualized chaos. Every civilization creates places where normally hidden emotions can temporarily exist, whether that's, aggression or fear, violence, the grotesque. You don't necessarily perform these things in ordinary life. You give them a stage, if you're lucky. And Raining Blood seems to have become, extraordinarily good at doing that. I wonder what would happen, if that riff kind of starts in a room full of people. It's almost like the individual would disappear. Bodies move, the music provides structure for something that would otherwise be chaotic. And that's important because Slayer isn't actually chaotic. They sound unbelievably disciplined. Did you hear how that music started to speed up and yet every part of the progression sped up in synchronization? Right? Dave Lombardo isn't randomly attacking those drums. Right? It's not a randomly produced noise. It's precision manufacturing the experience of disorder. And that's the tool, right? It kind of lets you encounter that aggression symbolically rather than literally and gives the monster in the room 4 minutes, a guitar riff, and a mosh pit, and then the song ends. And so what's the false assumption that we can give up? It's probably that everything dark inside of us needs to be eliminated. Maybe not. Maybe some darkness needs to be integrated and bounded and expressed rather than denied. And that's just something that heavy metal in general understood extraordinarily well. So I'm rambling. Family, like, comment, share, subscribe. Hit the hype button if that option's available. Join me in the Patreon. Let me cook, please, sirs and madams. Family, love you guys. I'll see you at the next one. Please stay balanced.